look, hugging his kid. Watch this guy here, look, hugging his kid. You know, I've imagined it's uncomfortable and traumatic for the people here, but again, careful, it's very slippery right here. That's what protesting is about.
I don't think it's that bad for them. They're all white, so it's cool. They're not getting terrorized by ICE.
That's not what protesting is about. Protesters don't get to barge into your house and start yelling at your wife.
No, that's ICE agents, you know, without warrants, it seems too, you know.
Over what she decided to fix for dinner.
Good one, man. That was
so. Welcome
funny.
To another reaction video. This time we're going to be responding to various deeds and misdeeds that happened in Minneapolis over the weekend, and
yeah. So there's this dude. What was his name? It's Doug Jones. I don't care. It doesn't matter. He's a fascist dude, and everybody's so upset about this church protest that had just happened recently. Don Lemon was there, and several other people were protesting, you know, speaking loudly inside of a church, and right-wingers completely lost their mind. Their heads are exploding right now. Like, they're just going completely nuts. Turns out, this is how insane things have gotten. Turns out now they're arresting them for speaking loudly inside of a church. I guess it's library rules or something like that. And the main concern, they said, was they were swearing in front of kids. Like, and you know, meanwhile, ICE agents can break into churches and do, you know, whatever they want, beat kids up and stuff. That's fine. But if you go to a church to protest them doing that, everybody needs to get arrested. But there's been some developments that are kind of funny, and it's sort of driving them even more insane. So I'm not really looking forward to what they do in response. But yeah, so let's check out this dude's video. Like I said, Fundie Tube was quite the rage with that church invasion, they call it. Then after we talk about all this, Ruslan debated a racist. So I thought that would be kind of funny. You know, so it's this Christian nationalist guy that said that Ruslan's marriage he's in an interracial marriage is a sin. So thought that could be kind of fun to check out. And they talk to each other about it. So should be pretty cool. But let's get back to this weirdo.
Here we go.
Renee, good!
They're talking loud in a church. How dare they?
These people apparently misunderstood when sharing time was.
Oh man, he's funny. He's funny. That was a good one.
Where are you? Where are you? Where are your people? Why are you not at Whipple every day fighting for
This is the house of God right here. That's the house that you're in. It's not my house. It's God's house. So you better watch out. He's gonna strike you with lightning or something.
Humanity standing for our people. Where are you?
Good on Pastor Parnell here. This is utterly shameful. And this is yet exhibit 982 of whataboutism. Just imagine.
Yeah, that thing that the left does all the time. That's the left popularized whataboutism. No, like that was you guys.
A group of protesting Christian nationalists busting into a black worship service, for example, where a church was supporting Black Lives Matter, that sort of thing, and disrupted their worship service. The pieces
ICE literally did basically that. They terrorized a church that was majority people of color. So that's already happened. Except they're not protesting; they're just terrorizing. Just arresting people, beating people up, pepper spraying them in the face and shit.
Would be falling out of the sky for about 15 years. And Don Lemon would most certainly not be there talking.
Uh-oh. That's weird. Looks like it caught back up over here. Is it still frozen? Oh, that's weird.
talking about the Constitution and First Amendment rights to protest. The people here who are gathered to worship have the right to peaceably assemble and worship God, which they are doing, and the right of others to intrude is a non-existent right. That's not a First Amendment right at all.
What?
One of the protesters is
It's like a public space, basically, dude. Like it's so weird when they act like church is just so off limits, you know. And again, unless you're ICE agents like terrorizing people within a church and shooting priests in the face with pepper balls and stuff, that's fine. But you know, when people are saying, "Hey, don't do stuff like that," that's when it's a crime against humanity and God, both against humans and, you know, non-human deities.
Meg Basham has written, a professional protester, has been one of the people harassing our worshipers at our church service in Washington, D.C. And so consequently, we would stand shoulder to shoulder with these saints here in Minneapolis who were peaceably worshiping God and then were disrupted because the protesters didn't think that they were doing a sufficient amount of protesting themselves in the aftermath of the death of Renee Good.
Yeah, the innocent woman that was like unjustly unalived, like being shot in the face 3 times, who was still alive when there was a medical, you know, there was a doctor there that wanted to help the person, to help her, you know, and they stopped her. They fucking stopped her. God damn it, I get so mad about this shit.
Now, I imagine that there were some 10-year-old boys for whom this was the most exciting event that they can ever remember going through.
So it's so funny. So the kids, the main argument that you have is actually bullshit. Yeah. Okay. They're like, do I wait? The kids are here. You're talking too loud near the kids. And then he's still like, yeah, but they thought it was awesome though. They were having a ball, man. That was the coolest thing they'd ever seen, you know? And they didn't have to worry about being pepper sprayed in the face because, you know, it's the non-ICE people breaking into the church.
And they thought it was a gaudy spectacle, and they were worked up and ready to do battle. And so not every child is going to be afraid, but those children who were fearful that something might happen, or those mothers who are fearful for their children, afraid that something terrible might happen, that somebody might haul out a gun, for example, that's not a ludicrous fear. And it's yet again another one of the reasons why this sort of thing needs to be charged.
All these comfortable white people who are living lavish, comfortable lives while children are dragged into concentration camps. You're living real life, nice lives with your lattes, doing absolutely nothing for your Latino and Somali brothers and sisters. You come here to a man wearing a suit. Is a preacher? Did Jesus wear a suit?
Okay, that guy does sound kind of unhinged. I'm gonna be straight up, but like what he's doing is right. I still know he's just being kind of funny. I think he was, you know, trying to get some clicks out of the thing, right? But let me see. All right.
Objection made by the honorable gentleman that Jesus never wore a suit leads to the next question. What do you think this pastor ought to wear?
Robes, multicolored robes, please, and a funny hat that maybe tips to the side, you know, and just that'd be kind of cool.
A toga, a robe.
Robe. That's what I was saying.
Come on, Jesus wore a robe, but it was a fine robe. It was so fine that the soldiers gambling for it at the foot of the cross didn't want to tear it up. Jesus wore the equivalent.
Okay, let me. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna back out because apparently I'm freezing up a bunch. I think it's these new effects or whatever on the stupid camera. Every single time they update something that's StreamYard, it's like it freezes up. All right, so just give me 1 minute. I will be right back, and I'm gonna put up my little thing that says I'll be right back if I can find it. Where did it go? Oh, there it is. All right, give me 1 minute. I'll be right back. Y'all can keep talking and stuff. No, I peed before I got here. I'm just you know, I apparently the screen's all freezing and stuff or something. I don't know what's going on here. Yeah, I blame Kevin. Kevin's clearly behind this. It is a tactical with malice aforethought thing that he's doing. Anyway, all right. So now I got to pull everything back. There you go. Pull this Doug Jones guy or whatever his name is. Something Jones. What is it again? Cannon Press. Wait, what? That's not. Oh, Doug Wilson. That's it. Much different than Doug Jones. Jeez.
Of a nice suit. This would be an interesting exchange if, let's say, one of us was doing some open air preaching in a public square at a university, and that the gentleman who had the devastating point about whether or not Jesus wore a suit stood up and started interacting. That's part of
devastating point. Very good one. That's pretty funny.
The give and take of open air preaching. You're out in the public square, and so is he. And so consequently, you have the right to go at it with one another and debate one another and have your views.
You're actually not supposed to go at it in public. That tends to be a crime. You know, that's how that goes.
Collide. But if the saints here in this congregation gather together by agreement to worship God, and they are not disrupting the public peace or order, and they're simply worshiping God, to come in like this is just appalling. The thing that is going to be
just appalling. I am appalled right now that people are, disrupting a service of a lead agent. It's the lead agent's church, because of course it is, the lead agent of ICE that is terrorizing brown people because he's a racist prick, Proud Boy, probably doesn't like it when people interrupt his service. Yeah. You know what? People of color don't like it when you interrupt their entire fucking lives, jackass. Like, maybe you would think that maybe he could figure this out just from the inconvenience of it. Because even if they're like, oh, but we let him go, it's the inconvenience of the whole thing. It's the fact that just being a brown person or a black person in this country means that out of nowhere you're going to get side tackled by a racist lunatic, dragged off to be detained, and then turns out, oh yeah, oh, so he does have his papers. All right, go ahead and go. You're good. That can just happen at any moment. Bashing 17-year-old kids face into the ground and shit. It's insane.
Almost as appalling as this is, I'm guessing, the limp response that the Christians in Minneapolis are going to display toward this. A lot of Christians are going to be, in a hot combination of Minnesota nice and mistaken evangelical winsomeness, are going to blame Donald Trump for this. They're going to blame ICE for this instead of blaming the governor and blaming the mayor.
It's an ICE protest. That's who they're protesting, dipshit.
And blaming the protesters themselves. The response that ought to happen here is all the pastors of Minneapolis, all of them, should gather together with the governor and ask him what he's going to do to protect their worship services. What is he going to do?
Watch this guy here. Look, hugging his kid. I imagine it's uncomfortable and traumatic for
so weird. It's like fine
people here, but again, careful. It's very slippery right here. That's
we haven't even gone into the thing yet.
What protesting is about.
That's not what protesting is about. Protesters don't get to barge into your house and start yelling at your wife.
Church isn't your house, dude. It's a public place.
Over what she decided to fix for dinner. You're allowed to have your own private space.
And why would anybody yell at your wife for choosing something to make for dinner? Okay.
And you're allowed to gather together with fellow believers in a private space to do something you agreed upon together to do, like worship God. And if someone wants to protest, they do it outside. They do it on the public sidewalk. You don't come in and
I love how they're like, if you protest, you do it exactly the way that we tell you have to do it. Okay. And there's some rule. There's you better not be disruptive at all. You better not block traffic. You can stand right over there on the sidewalk and do nothing so that nobody even notices that you're there, so that you're protest doesn't do anything at all, and nobody even realizes it's happening, and then all the injustice just keeps going. Do that for me, okay? Could you please?
The worship service. But Don Lemon doesn't understand anything.
What do you think of this?
I mean, this is unacceptable. It's shameful. It's shameful to interrupt a public gathering of Christians in worship.
Let me just...
Yeah, it's shameful to interrupt, all the entire state of Minnesota. Like, oh my God, dude, really? Minnesota is like being completely overran by like thousands of these untrained, masked, big government like goons. And you want to be like, this is shameful. You can't do this. This is so inconvenient for me.
Go and add to my amen to that. It's just shameful. But the people doing this, including Lemon, are shameless. You can't. What good does it do to say shameful to people who are?
Are you serious, man? Like, you support Trump? You want to talk about Don Lemon being shameless? Are you kidding me right now? You like support a geriatric orange melting worm with blonde like pube hair melting down like in front of the world, like acting like a complete psychopath. But you're like, the left, they don't have any shape. That's their problem. They need to get some shape right there. Dude, your guy needs some shape. Holy shit, dude.
Shameless.
But there were folks who will say,
I have to take care of my flock.
okay, but listen, we live in there's a constitution in the First Amendment to freedom of
I have to take care of my flock. That's what we call it, churches. Yeah, we call it flocks because we're sheeple,
speech and freedom to assemble and protest.
And that is just ludicrous. All right. The Constitution, freedom of speech, freedom to assemble does not mean freedom to assemble in the middle of somebody else's assembly. It does not mean they have the right to come into your house and protest your choice of roast beef and mashed potatoes. They
What is with the dinner thing, dude? Like, that's like,
don't have.
why does he keep bringing up the dinner? Like, as if people are protesting, like, what you're about. Is this like a special FU to his wife or something? I gotta hate the mashed potato. Why'd she make that again? That bet. Like, what the hell is this?
The right to come into your house of worship and disrupt your worship service. So basically, Lemon, who is carrying water for these people and is pretending to be a journalist on the scene, is part of the disruption.
I don't know. I was thinking about doing that. Gretchen's asking if I ever sprinkle in some of the stuff on our side. It's like a palate cleanser. I don't know. I mean, it would depend what it is. If it could spark some interesting conversation, I would absolutely do it. That's how I'd like to start trying to cover a little bit more of just like clips of stuff, so it isn't just so one-sided. But yeah,
he needs to be charged as well. And all the people in this video that can be identified need to be identified, and they need to be booked.
Yep, they did. They did get booked. That's what we're going to talk about next. So. Let me switch over to it. It's insane. I just can't believe this. Like they kill a lady and then keep the keep like a doctor from her while she still has a pulse for like 8 minutes after the fact. But these people need to be arrested, and they do get arrested. But the person that killed somebody didn't even get arrested. Isn't even being like investigated. In fact, instead they investigated the victim's wife and family. It's completely insane. It's psychotic. The way that it's so lopsided, like they're the most they're just the most spoiled bitch ass brats. That's what it is. Like they're just spoiled little children that have to have. It's like everything's unfair unless it's unfair for everybody else. It's like they have to have their thumb on the scale. Otherwise they like scream and cry and whine. But then anytime like they're, we, on the left, we do anything, they freak out. It's like the tiniest shit. They had to wear a piece of fabric on their face. They were like, this is fascism. But people are just shooting women in the face, and, people are protesting. They're like, this is the crime of a century. No, not him shooting the lady in the face. That was fine. She's a domestic terrorist. That's Jesus Christ. But the funny thing is, yeah, where is it? Oh, okay. So breaking, a federal judge has just rejected Trump's DOJ's attempt to bring charges against journalist Don Lemon. So, I mean, I'm sure they're still going to figure out a way to get him, because there's no rules for this regime. If the people on the right like have a loud enough voice and they want you to go down, they'll figure out some bullshit to make you go down. He'll probably get like some tax, fraud or some other bullshit that they throw at him to get him in trouble for, being at a protest or covering a protest with the, it's like what journalists do and stuff, they cover stuff. But like trying to say that it's okay, or I mean, it's not okay to cover that. And it was like his fault. I mean, he was sitting there defending it, but that's, he's a journalist. It's not the same thing. I don't think he planned it. In fact, the woman that did plan it got arrested, as did that other guy that was in the video. So, what's this?
This is a house of peace, and we try to proclaim that. These people have come into our house, and they've interrupted our worship. This is a house of peace, and we try to proclaim that. And this stirs division and rancor. And in the end,
and rancor. Okay, that was odd. The monster that tries to eat Luke down in the Jabba's little hole down there, or whatever. Remember, he eats the big guy. The big guy squeals as he bites. Anyway, it's really fun.
It's not helpful. Ultimately, I believe they've lost. They've emptied a house of worship. Everybody's gone home. Their point has been proven worthless.
Oh, yeah. No place should be safe for ICE. Thank you. Yeah, they need to be terrorized. Everywhere they go, they need to be terrorized. That's why they're wearing masks, is so they can basically just grape people, and nobody can do anything about it. And there has been reports of them taking immigrant women into secluded areas to very obviously do that. But they're wearing masks. So what the hell are you supposed to do?
And so in the end, I think they lose. But more importantly, if I was to break into any of their houses uninvited,
this isn't your house, you dipshit.
Cause derision and upset.
And cause division. If I came in your house and caused division, I'd be like, she left the TV on last night. You know how much the electric bill is going to be now? You guys need to find it out. Go find it out. It's causing division.
According to their values, I would be kicked out ultimately. It's not a good way. I feel violated.
Really? You feel violated? Imagine how all the victims of this Gestapo feel, dude.
Feel interrupted.
I feel interrupted. But now you just were that. But I'm glad you feel that way too.
I feel angry.
May I ask you something? When you were saying if you had showed up at their house, they're saying that people are showing up at houses where they're citizens or without due process and breaking and entering the house. One that we saw, I've been watching from New York, with a battering ram into someone's private property, and there's no recourse. There's no, you understand what I'm saying?
This is all part of a much larger dialogue, in my opinion. On one side are people who watch a previous administration bring 12 million people in over the course of 4 years, and many of them undocumented, many of them criminals, etc. This is another administration's correct.
It's so weird that is like, well, 12 million. Like, he's basically saying like that's just what happens when 12 million people come into the country or whatever. Okay. Like that. It's just so odd to me. Like, what is the number? What's the okay number? Because I feel like it doesn't matter what the number is. You're going to be like, whoa. They could say like 4,000 people. They'd be like, 4,000 people came in this year? Oh my God. Each year? 4,000? Do you know how many immigrants that is? That's so many more brown people than we need. We can't have that. We can't have that. Like, it doesn't matter, you know. They're going to say it's insane no matter what.
Now, whether you agree with the policies or procedures, I think I could actually be sympathetic to some of the things where there have.
But I mean, my mom said that too. That there's never been. I mean, it's such a dumb argument as far as I can tell. But saying there's never been this many immigrants here. She kept repeating that like over and over again. There's never been this many. And I'm just like, what? Not like there's never been this many. Yeah, every single time a single individual comes over, that would be more than has ever been here before. But that would be the case no matter what. Like, what the hell are you talking about? Like, you need some kind of like baseline or something, you know, like what's acceptable and then what's not, you know. But they don't ever say any of that, you know.
Been challenges to fashion and decency. At the same time, these are what are called targeted interventions by ICE to keep the American people safe.
If I respectfully may interject here, I've been out.
Delusional. These are targeted. They're targeted. Are you kidding me, man? They're like just showing up at random places, just beating up like random people, dude. There's no way. Like 90% of these things are not targeted. Absolutely. They're definitely not targeted.
A lot of these, and they're not targeted. There are no warrants signed by a judge, let me finish. And they're American citizens, many of them. Most of the people that they detain don't have criminal convictions or criminal records.
I'm not going to get into the weeds. This is
nothing there. Are they saying there's nothing to lose but their faith? Please do lose that. Yeah, that's it. You know, that's sort of how we got into this problem altogether. That seems to be. I mean, I swear to God, I think that is serious. Like, that's why we are where we are right now, is because of this faith crap that they will bend over backwards to defend no matter what. And they're doing, and they just transfer that to their politics. And it's in Trump. Whatever Trump does, doesn't matter what it is, they're going to defend it. They're going to act like, oh, no, it's actually okay if you think about it like that, because that's what they've been programmed to do. It's like it's like it's completely in reverse. It's just whatever they do is good because it's them doing it, instead of there's a standard. It's almost like the Euthyphro thing, you know. Is it a standard, or is it because just they did it? And it's like they have like the Euthyphro side. Like, it's like, no, there's no standard. It's just if they do it, then it's good. If the Republicans do it, it's good. No matter what, no matter if it's like shit that they, and it's what the craziest part is, it's shit that they would never accept for themselves. If Democrats did just even like half of what they're doing, or even like a fourth of this stuff, their heads would explode. Could you imagine if Biden had done like a EPA thing, right? Where it's like an environmental protection agency, right? And he starts up his he starts up his own like ICE, but instead of for immigrants, it's for EPAs, for like to check on environmental stuff, right? And then gun ownership too. You could probably do that. But so you just have this like army of thugs that are not being trained at all, just pulling people out their trucks and be like, you are hurting the environment, you know, and we don't like how you're hurting the environment, and just beating them up and just detaining them, you know, kicking them out, like stealing their trucks and stuff, impounding all their vehicles, whatever. You know, could you imagine? They would freaking lose it. But it's like freedom for me, but not for thee. You know, because they don't understand like an objective standard as far as like how policy goes. Like, they want policy to be, they want apartheid. They want it to be like applied a certain, like one way for them, where they get everything they want and get to treat other people poorly all the time and get special privileges. And then everybody they don't like is able to be harmed and hurt and arrested and you know, mistreated and all this other shit. And that's just the way it is. That's what they want. That's when America was great in their minds, is when they were back in the day when it was literally apartheid, you know. But it's the segregation and shit. That's what they want. It's crazy. Anyway, where are we at here?
Know that though, don't you think that's part of it?
Yes, and I could also show you many opposing sides where we're also picking up the very criminals that have put Americans in danger, and I'm not saying it's pretty. I'm not saying it's not messy. I'm not saying it couldn't be better.
What is he saying? Like, and they did get a couple criminals too. Okay, so it's all worth it. This is like I was thinking about this the other day. This is almost like me, like this whole. If he's trying to make the case that like going door to door, battering, like using these battering rams on people's front doors, bashing it, which is super unsafe. This is America. Like that is so unsafe for them. Like using a battering ram on people's houses or whatever. Like people have AR-15s and shit, man. This is not a good idea. Anyway, but they're doing that, going door to door, literally. Doing it, and that's all worth it because hey, they might get like 1 or 2 criminals that are also happen to be immigrants. Fuck all the other criminals, I guess. They're fine, as long as they were born here and they're white, it's cool. Kill all the people you want. But like, it's just so insane. It's like me saying, you know what? I think we should get a nuke and hit the White House with a nuke, and that way we can take out I know for a fact there's at least one PDF file that is involved with the sex trafficking ring of children. So they nuke the White House. That'll fix it. You know what I mean? Like that's the same kind of rationale for what they're doing.
Saying this is a part of a much larger dialogue in which one administration caused a great deal of chaos and havoc and danger for American citizens, and another is trying to correct that.
Do you believe that? Why? Honestly,
Okay,
let me talk to you
listen,
just on the
you're not
facts.
a journalist.
Yes, I am. I want to give you the facts.
No.
Did you know that undocumented?
No, I don't do facts. I don't. Didn't you just hear me saying all the lies and stuff? I don't have facts. You want facts? No, I don't do that.
People
No,
and
we're
immigrants
done. We're
commit
done.
far less crime
We're done.
than American citizens.
We're done. I don't need to listen to facts. Like it's so Republican of that guy, dude. He's just like, oh no, I'm just gonna say all the bullshit propaganda, and then like, hey, can I tell you what the truth is? Bye. I gotta go. No, I gotta go. I'm late. I gotta clean up my fridge. I gotta go.
We're done here.
Then natural born Americans. You won't listen.
If you could ask,
I'm giving you the facts.
Give me facts. I would have a conversation.
But I can respond to you.
No, we're done.
Did Jesus stand with the oppressed?
Because he doesn't want to listen to facts.
That is the understatement of the year. None of them do, dude. They all love. Another thing that I think like religion has poisoned in the brains of right-wing Americans is that exactly. They don't care. They would so much rather believe their comfortable bullshit than have to like deal with the complicated truth of the matter that isn't just this or that, black or white, us or that. Like it's like a lot more complicated than that shit.
The interesting thing about this is that they won't listen to facts.
No.
You won't because
when you
because
pose as a journalist,
I am a
and you
journalist.
ask me
Journalists give
questions,
facts.
and then you start correcting me with facts and don't have.
You shouldn't hear the facts.
Of course, I should
most
hear
of the people
facts.
who are picked up
But
are
will you
not.
give me the
have
facts
no-
on both sides? No.
That is the facts on both sides. Most of the people who are picked up and are
and it's like they made everybody like so biased that they assume that if anybody's like, no, that's not true, that it's because you are just biased against my bias. You know what I mean? Like you're biased against me. But really, that's not how it works. Like they are just so unbelievably biased, and Trump is like brainwashed. It's cult stuff. Cults always think that. They always like brainwash cult members to think that everybody outside the cult, they're the brainwashed ones. They're the ones being manipulated by demons or the Antichrist, or whatever the hell it is, and they do the same thing. It's just a lot larger of a cult.
Are not convicted. They have no criminal convictions. They have no criminal records. None. That immigrants commit far less crime than native-born Americans.
Yeah, he doesn't care.
So
he doesn't care. He's like, yeah, whatever. Whatever. I'm white. I'm Republican.
they won't listen to the facts.
And you are probably good. You need to be taken out by ICE. Actually, you don't look very white. So I think I need to call my ICE representative or the ICE hotline if they probably do have a hotline, don't they?
Anyways, these folks are still out here.
All right. Oh, that was the end. But the point is, they like completely lost their minds about that whole thing, and everybody got arrested except for him. Okay, now this is the other one that just happened. This is funny. Breaking. Caitlin Bennett, the gun blonde, the gun Barbie, whatever the hell. She shit her pants at a party or something. Anyway, no shame about that. Okay, that's fine. I know lots of people that have done that. Okay, being a homeless punker. I've seen that happen quite often. But she sucks though, so that's why we got to tell everybody. Plus, she's a woman, so and she's a woman that thinks that you have to have certain rules for being a woman, so that makes it even kind of funny. Anyway, here we go. She got hold on. She was charged and fined after refusing orders to leave a public area while interviewing Democrats in Florida. Conservatives are being charged for interviewing people in public while Don Lemon gets to break into churches. It's just insane. Like, it's all... It's like, I just don't even know what to do anymore. Like, their Nazi president is literally trying to take over the goddamn planet, breaking every rule there could possibly ever be. And they're like, what about the rules? It's like, what the fuck? What about the rules of the guy that you support, man? He's not a dictator, yet he's just acting like he is one. Just traipsing over all the precedents we got. All right, here we go.
You probably might go to jail.
I'm going to go to jail.
Possibly.
She's literally asking the police to remove me from public property.
All right, you guys need to move.
Why?
Over here, First Amendment area.
Yeah, this is a First Amendment area.
You don't have a permit here. They do.
Yeah, so what does the permit
it's
do?
Time to leave.
I want my rights to be respected. I'm allowed to be on public property.
What does a permit
our
do?
First Amendment area number 5
Yeah.
for small
What does a permit do? I've not heard of these permits. What are those?
groups and counter protesters.
Yeah.
You're a small group
No, I'm not.
and you're a counter protester.
I'm media.
Are you here with this group?
I'm here with media.
You need to move.
They're thanking them for writing me a
Let's
ticket.
go. You're being detained for a ticket. Over here.
Little wins, folks. Little wins. We got to take what we can get since there's so much of the opposite going on. Just being berated by Nazis and shit all the time.
You're on federal land. I'm a federal officer.
Yes, great.
So you're getting a federal ticket.
Okay, great. I can't wait to fight this. The liberals.
Oh, a ticket. Well, Don Lemon actually did get detained. He just didn't get fully charged. So, and they're trying to compare that to her getting a ticket. Jesus.
Here in St. Augustine, Florida, are cheering because
I was just in St. Augustine. Huh? How about that? I don't know how I missed her.
this guy is trying to kick me off of public property.
No, you get to stand
You see it like she's shaking. You can hear her voice shaking.
here
No,
on federal public property.
public.
Where
You
we
notice you
tell
said public?
to be.
You don't
Okay.
get to tell me which
I
public
do.
property
I'm
I
with
can
the
be
National
at.
Park
Yeah.
Service.
Tell me
We
how this is
designate
private
First
property.
Amendment area. I'm sorry,
This is
you
my
don't know
First
the rules
Amendment.
and regulations. I'm sorry.
Oh man, this is gonna be good.
You have anything with your ID on?
No,
Okay, get your mic out of my face.
I'm allowed to do this. This is my first.
You're not allowed to stick your mic in my face. So step back and get it out of my face.
What's up, Dave? How we doing, man? And John, how we doing? What's going on? TV Nowcast here. I guess I should say I haven't done that yet, have I? Sorry about the camera. I don't know if it's still messing up. But it's this damn StreamYard. This goddamn StreamYard. Maybe I have too many. You know what? That's probably what it is. I probably have too many things opened up. I got to get better stuff. All right, who won today? Let's see here. And Weirdo won. What's up, Weirdo? How you doing? So I think there is an inverse correlation between whether or not I'm on time-ish and whether or not Brentley is on time-ish. I was on time, damn it. Okay, 3 minutes late doesn't count. All right. What is it with everybody being like needing to be on time all the time? What the hell kind of white American bullshit is this? It's like I've been with Nikki too long. That's like, we're on time. It's only 40 minutes after we all right, give me a second. Let me see here. Pandora's Pinata. Oh yeah, what's going on? What's up? What's up? And let's see here. And Lago. What's up, Lago? How we doing? ICE is not legitimate law enforcement. They are untrained, uneducated, unfit losers and criminals. 100%. Yep. Yeah, the fact that they're like as untrained as they are is insane. And the fact that they were just like pushing people through is wow, it's crazy. I just can't believe it. It's federal workers. Like, you have to be perfect before. Like, if you were like back when like Biden was president, you had to be like amazing. Like, they did like hair follicle tests and shit. Like, you had to be like beyond, like, you couldn't have even had like more than a couple parking tickets and stuff. Like, they were serious. And then all that just out the window the second the criminal takes the White House. Jesus. Let's see who else we got here. We got Gretchen. What's going on, Gretchen? Oh, what happened? It froze up. Okay, it's fine. It's whatever. You know, it's StreamYard will figure it out at some point. A frog suit. W Stubb said a frog suit. I don't really know what that's in reference to, but yes, a frog suit. I actually want to get one of those. Isn't it like so that they can, especially like the blow up ones? It's like so the pepper ball things or whatever will just boing, it just like bounce off you. Which is really clever, you know. It's funny. I actually just ordered a gas mask because I'm like, well, probably need one of these, and I got one of those cool military. Look at what like the ones that look like you're from a Pink Floyd video. You know what I'm talking about, like the gas mask. Anyway, it's gonna look cool. I'm gonna put like some spikes in, but I'm gonna glue them to the outside. I'm not gonna poke holes in the gas. I know. Okay, just stop. I heard it. Okay. Well, let's see. Gretchen is here. What's going on? We've got who else we got? Spooky. Hey, Spooky, what's going on? How are you doing? Spooky's watching. We got Michael. What's going on, Michael? How you doing? No place should be safe for ICE. That's right. We got Deep State. What's up, Deep State? How you doing? We got, let's see, who else we got? John. Got John. How you doing, John? What's up, man? And Guitar Dog. What's up, Guitar Dog? How we doing, dude? It's good to see you. Say, Lenonware AI. Is that, are they saying nothing to lose but their faith? Please do lose that. Yeah. That's great. All right. I think we're all caught up here. Oh, and John, Russian John, and Dave. How you doing, Dave? What's up? I think we're all caught up now. Let me see. Yep, we're all good. Hail Bigfoot. That's right. God damn it.
So here's the thing. I am on public property. He just admitted I was on public property. This is not permitted to turn this space into private property.
He just admitted. Yes, it is, dude. This is like, if you're going to come and you're aggravated to people that are on, that have a permit to be there, and the people with the permit go, can you get them the hell out of here? They're aggravating us. They could do that. They can be like, okay, yeah. Since the people with the permit can say, that you are aggravating them.
You guys cannot do this. We have been
see what I mean about like the double standard is just phenomenal. Like they just can't handle getting a fucking ticket. She's getting a ticket. People are having their doors busted in by ICE, Gestapo nutbags, untrained masked freaks that are raping women and shit. And she gets a ticket. She said, this is insane. This is actually so much worse. I'm white and getting a ticket. This is such, oh my God, this is bullshit.
Over this in Florida with 3 different police departments. 3. I love
content for you.
More did you say more content for me? Thank you.
Disobeying lawful order is your ticket.
What lawful order was that?
To leave.
I directed you to go from there to here.
Yeah. And you think that was lawful?
And you refused my lawful order.
Yeah, so that was lawful, huh?
So this is United States District Court violation notice.
This dude's having a blast, dude.
It's a $500 forfeiture, $30 processing fee.
Very cool.
Total collect.
Very cool. I thought you loved the cops. Hey, Caitlin, the cops are your friends, right? I thought you were on team police.
Collateral is $530.
What was the lawful order that you just...
He didn't tell me.
He didn't.
You're such a liar, dude. What the fuck? What? He was unbelievable. It was just on camera. Like, what is wrong with you? Why would you even leave this in your little stupid video, man? Like, he just said it, and you just agreed to it, basically.
Tell you? Yeah, that's a good question. There's a local journalist here. Actually, why don't you go ask him? You're a journalist. Go ask him. Go ask him. So you asked what lawful order I disobeyed.
And he couldn't tell me, he said.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's funny. The journalist said that other journalist didn't have any recording equipment, I guess. But this lady's so stupid. She didn't realize that she filmed him literally say what to do, why, and what she was supposed to do, and why she got the ticket because she didn't do it. It was unbelievably clear. Jesus. Wow. These people are sad. All right. Okay. So now we got this video. Enough of that, right? Let's not think about all this ICE crap, right? For a few minutes. Hold on. Did anything happen in the last 4 minutes? Because it moves fast. You never know. It's like, oh, and Trump invaded Canada. Yep, that's right. We're at war with Canada now. We're just, that's what I'd be expecting at the top of this thing. Jesus. All right. But let's take a look at that Ruslan video where he debates. Oh God, I can't think. It's not the Jones one that we just watched. Damn, it's the other one. Joel Webbin, who's racist, and he does not like that there are interracial couples that exist, and so he debated Ruslan, who is in an interracial marriage.
Again, ethnos and race.
We're taking people from opposite ends of the earth en masse, wave after wave, with no pause in between, and putting them in the same place, and then encouraging same-sex marriage, encouraging abortion, encouraging intermarriage, encouraging all these different things.
Intermarriage? What is that one?
Saying, well, you know what, if this forms a new ethnicity, and I don't think that's normal. What we're talking about is liberty of conscience. We're talking about this category where something may not be best, it may not be the ideal, but it is still permissible nonetheless.
You've literally got two black guys like right here, and you got this like actual freaking white supremacist goober over here.
Like this is a category in Scripture.
Yeah, you're talking about wisdom issues, right?
Yeah.
You're talking about wisdom issues.
Yeah.
So if we're talking about wisdom issues, you're conflating again ethnos and race with culture and faith. That's the huge distinction.
I think it's unwise to genocide the entire European race.
That's an emotional argument. You're
an
extreme.
That is insane. I can't believe I think it's unwise to genocide. But that's not happening, dude. It's crazy to like sit there and use that word, that kind of language, when you're just talking about, your kids not being quite as pale as you think they should be.
Doing emotionally charged language to make the white kids who watch this feel like their jobs are being taken.
I think it would be tragic if white people perished from the face of the earth. Like that's not an emotional.
I would also.
That is perished. Like, what the hell are you talking about? Like, more people being born that aren't white is not white people being perished. Like, that's such an insane way to talk about that.
Say the same thing, I would agree that it would be horrible if white people perish from the face of the earth. That's different.
We know you don't take that position, but if interracial marriage was normative, came to the point, if you guys, it grew and grew and grew in popularity, and you guys said, hey, there's nothing in the Bible against this. If it grew to 50, 60%, European people would perish from the face of the earth.
European people, what the fuck?
For generations, they just would. So we're saying that's the logical outcome.
No, they wouldn't. They would just develop, man. They would just like their skin would get darker. The Europeanness isn't it like based on where they're at? Like, what the hell? Like, but Like there's no black Europeans. I'm so confused.
Here, bro.
You don't want it. I don't want it.
But none of us
so
would
let's
be
walk
here.
back a
None
couple
of us
steps.
be here. Go ahead.
Wait, what
No,
do you
no,
mean?
But my
So-
children,
like,
my
like if it would
offspring
take
would be.
multiple generations, so your
Yeah, the white supremacy. You see him. You got it. Yeah, that's the one.
offspring
I
are
would
only your offspring
care.
if they look exactly like you.
That's like a Hezekiah move. Hezekiah hears that
Yeah.
bad things will happen after his lifetime. This is the Hezekiah's the original.
No, no,
boomer,
no. I'm saying I don't
right?
think
Oh, it
I don't.
won't happen in my lifetime, so I don't care.
Respectfully, if
What?
we're being honest, I don't think either of you are going to care if your grandkids or your great grandkids are mixed. I really don't think
If
this is going to be an
they
issue.
possess the
If you-
nation
if-
that was
no, no, no.
gifted to them by.
Yeah, but that's an arbitrary definition of nation. We already agreed that there's nations that are mixed ethnic, that exist. So you guys being down the road, your grandkids, your great grandkids, and one of them is white, and one of them is mixed, and one of them married a Spanish guy, and one of them you guys aren't going to care. Like, be honest. You're not going to care. You're going to love those grandkids. You're going to see the image of God. You're going to see yourself in them. You're going to celebrate what God is doing through them. You're going to
It's like that's what makes him so mad. I think is like, and I love that he included. You're gonna see yourself in them because it's like you're gonna see your face, but like mixed with other races. Their face is gonna have the distinctions that you probably know. Each and every one of those facial distinctions for all the races, because you're racist. That's what they do.
celebrate the Christian heritage that you laid out for them as the primary identity markers. This stuff's not going to matter in generations and generations.
Yeah. So one of these new ethnicities, whether it's the American ethnicity, this is what Teddy Roosevelt said about 1900 to 1910, 1920. He said that
who gives a shit, man?
There were multiple different ingredients. Let's use this analogy of like a furnace, multiple different ingredients. You have the French, you have the Celtics, you have the this, that, and the other, and the Brits. They come in, Germanics. They come in, and what you have is time. You have not 1,000 ingredients. You have 5, 6, 7, and they're not distantly related, but much more closely related. They then come into this furnace. And the furnace is providence. It's adversity. It's the hardships of settling a new continent, a new country, all these things. So you have
what the hell is going on? What is he talking about? So like humanity is in a furnace now, with like a metal that's being like what is he talking about? Holy shit! And what's crazy is like the whole thing is that like it's just that their skin is a different color, because like all those different ethnicities that he's describing, or those different cultures and everything, they're different languages, they're different religions, they're different, like everything. They're very different in Europe. He's acting like Europeans are all just like one people, but they're all white. And so that makes all of them okay to mix together, I guess. But like, and we know the other thing too that I wish people would say about this is that we know for a fact it's actually really bad for like genetically, like what they're talking, to do what they're talking about. It's actually bad for you. It literally degrades your genetics if the DNA is too similar, right? That's why that's why the Brits are have a lot of teeth problems. You know what I mean? Because of all that inbreeding up there with the royal crown and all that crap. Because they have to get with their cousins or whatever, because they have to keep it pure. That is terrible for like your offspring and everything. Like it doesn't it's like the opposite of what he's saying. It's crazy.
High heat, adversity, providence. You have long periods of time, right? There's decades that go by, a couple centuries, if you're going all the way back to the 1600s, all the way up to the 1900s, and the ingredients are few rather than many and more closely related. What we're doing today with globalism
And more
is
closely
not
related.
that.
That's not good, man. That's like having sex with your cousin is not good. You're gonna have a kids that are not healthy, man.
It's not like part of the French and part of the Nordics. They went and they settled it and they became a new. That's not what we're doing. We're taking people from opposite ends of the earth in mass, wave after wave, with no pause in between, and putting them in the same place, and then encouraging
No pause.
same-sex marriage.
Okay, if we slow it down, then it'd be okay. That's it. If there's some pauses in between, what the hell is he talking? It's weird when people bring up stuff like that. It's just like, what the fuck? Like, so you're mad that it's continuous. That's it. Okay.
Encouraging abortion encouraging intermarriage, encouraging all these different things, saying, well, you know what, if this forms a new ethnicity, and I don't think that's normative. I don't think that that's the way that nations developed historically.
You're railing against globalism. I'm saying there's nations here today that this has already happened to. If you look at
what? The teeth issue is an urban legend. Hemophilia, on the other hand. No, I don't know what that is. Hold on, what is hemophilia? Making me look up words. What are you doing? You know, just dude, you were sidelining the whole show for this. You know that? Hemophilia. Oh, there it is. Definition. Yeah. A genetic bleeding. Oh, okay. That's what I was thinking. I was like, it's the one with the where you don't your blood doesn't clot. So you just like keep bleeding from a little tiny cut, right? God, I would have been dead like so long ago. I cut myself like I want to say like 3 times a day. I cut myself. I don't know why, but so it happens so often I don't even notice it anymore. It seems it's my job, you know. Always cut myself. Anyway, so and that is you're saying hemophilia is because of the inbreeding or whatever. Interesting. So okay, well, I'll look that other thing up later.
at Brazil, if you look
I'll take your word for it. Okay, it's an urban legend.
at Puerto Rico, if you look at Mexico, if you look at America,
Thank you. Lack of blood clots.
Yes.
all of these exist. So say there's a group of white folks that come to a country and they say, hey, we want to have a inter-ethnic community. Do you have an issue against that?
Say it again.
A group of white folks.
You're talking too fast for my racist ass. Can you just slow it down? And maybe can you do more of a conversation? Let's say it like that.
They come, they start a new nation, and they say we want to have inter-ethnic people. We want to have inter-ethnic community. Do you have an issue with that?
What, like
little Czechoslovakia? Is
like
that kind of what you're
inside-
saying?
Yeah, they
white
want to
people,
be
Eastern European,
inter-ethnic.
like, all right.
Yeah, they're a bunch of people, and they decide they want to be a mixed.
I don't know, almost like this table, we'll say, you know, little community. So like,
people. Should they be allowed to preserve that?
A small group? Like what?
It's irrelevant.
Oh my God, dude. How stupid is this guy, dude? He's just saying, like, just put it on a small scale. Is there anything wrong with that? Is there anything wrong with a place that has like a bunch of different ethnicities all in one smaller place, one community that wants to be like that?
It's a group of people.
Here in the United States.
A country make believe.
A country of make
Holy
believe. So
God.
You're saying some white people from America,
Yes.
they go to a new place and they say, we want to start a new ethnicity. And so we're going to go.
No.
there."
They're okay, whether it's ethnos, whether it's nations. They are okay with having a bunch of different folks together.
I would say that it is
That's an idiot.
biblically permissible, but should not be normative.
You also do see how that
What the hell does that mean, dude? Like it's biblically permissible. It's permissible. What is this like when they try to do the thing with slavery? Because it sounds like it's that same kind of language. Where it's like, it's biblically permissible. Okay, yeah. But it is still bad or whatever. Like, that's like, what is he talking about? Oh, it should not be normative. That's right. What's normative ethics is just like oughts and ought not to stuff like that. That's normative.
in time all of that would synthesize into one single ethnicity again, right? You
Yeah,
see how that
yeah.
would occur.
But this
and
is-
then, by the way, would they still bring people in? Like, I mean,
I think Brazil and all these countries that are mixed ethnic, creating a new ethnicity, I think are as a people group distinct. And I think generally speaking, I don't think they have an issue with their countries. Yes, you can point to whatever corruption is going on there. I think the broader conversation is if God is provident, if God is sovereign over all of this, these places already exist. And America is already, you could argue whether America was intended to be a white only nation or a mixed nation, a melting pot, depending on which people you want to cite and source mine. But these places already exist. And God's providence is already going to be nations and revelations. That's the end. So whatever's going to happen in between then, that's already predicted.
Right.
And we already have these nations of mixed ethnicities. They're here now.
I have a question. If this is if that little segment is done, and I won't like push back, and I'm just curious. So you said you.
I just want to. Hello, I'm here. Hope that doesn't offend anybody. I know it does, but I just throwing it out. Hey,
have your pastor got all these members, right? Interracial members and all that kind of stuff. And are there interracial couples in your church as well? Yeah. Okay, so let's say that there's an interracial couple that's coming.
It is. They are, but they're not normatively that way. So
into you
yeah,
for marriage counseling. They're not married yet, but they're seeking to get married.
Right. That's a great question.
Would you? Yeah. How would you handle that? Would you discourage that, or what? How would you deal with that?
Yeah. So I've done this in my premarital counseling. If I have two individuals and there's not just different racial, but also different racially.
yeah, that's a great way to say it. E pluribus unum, out of many, one. The motto of the United States is out of many, one. Yeah, exactly. The U.S. is like whole bag is coming together from all over the place so that we can be free together. What the hell?
But also different ethnicity, meaning some language barriers, right? Or like obviously they probably wouldn't be dating.
Those are easy to solve, dude. You know what you do? You learn the language. I know learning stuff is probably not your bag at all. But
if they couldn't speak at all, but for this gal, she's from Brazil and English is her second language. And this guy, is white as the driven snow, and English is the only thing he knows. Then yes, I've said this is going to add extra difficulties. It's going to be more challenging. Marriage is already sanctifying. So my view of marriage in the sanctification category is that in marriage, God takes two sinners, locks them into close proximity so that they are, whether intentionally or inadvertently.
People are, let me see, how is that? People are tolerant of tolerance, but intolerant of intolerance. Yeah. Yeah, that's logically consistent. It would be a paradox if you're tolerant of intolerance. That could not possibly work that way. How would that even work, man?
Constantly stomping on one another's idols. Marriage is sanctifying.
Amen.
Period. Amen. And it's good. praise God. That's one of the, I would say, purposes of marriage: procreation, sanctification, gospel proclamation, picture of Christ in the church, the eternal marriage. Also a hedge against temptation. If anyone burns with lust, let him marry. Marriage actually is a solution.
Amen.
Yeah, Paul only said that because he's gay. Okay, he was gay, and he's just like, look, if you have to get married, whatever. Okay, but just do some fun stuff. Have fun with your thorn over on the side without anybody don't let anybody know about that. But then just don't get married. But God, I swear to God, these people are like, they're just the most insufferable people. They're like the ones that would like get mad that there's like people having fun down the street, just like looking out the window. What the? Oh my God, I hate them. I'm calling the police. They're slightly louder than I'd appreciate, and I gotta hate all those people down there. Look at them just enjoying themselves. Oh,
not the only, but a solution. One of the ways that a young man wins the fight against lust is take a wife, right? So
he also sounds like a Jim Carrey. He sounds like a Jim Carrey character, like from In Living Color or something. Young man, I don't know. He just has that everything.
Because my whole story has been published on the internet. I failed sexually because I waited too long to take a wife. Once I took a wife, by the grace of
you failed sexually. Oh, I'm so sorry, buddy. That must be why you're a white supremacist. I get it, because you're so jealous. You're so jealous of all
God. Now, well over a decade, I have been a faithful man. Praise God for that. My wife helped me tremendously.
Awesome.
So all that being said, yes, I have counseled. I've officiated interracial marriages because it is.
Oh boy, I feel bad for those married couples. My God, they're like, don't tell anybody about that. Okay, we didn't know that he hated us when he married us.
Biblically permissible. But in my counseling, that would be one of the things that we would cover. It wouldn't be the main thing, it wouldn't be the chief thing, but it also would not be nothing. It would be a thing. And I would say, this is
Jesus Christ.
Like we have a young man in our church, and
beautiful argument over here, dude. Is it, you're going to like make sense at some point? Like, what the hell are you even saying, dude? All you're really saying is it's not wrong, but I don't like it. That's it. Like, and if it happens too much, then it's bad,
knows that this debate was coming up, and he's online and has seen the controversy over the last week on Twitter and all that kind of stuff. And he said, please don't use my name because I'd like to keep my job.
Grand Theft Auto said, love wasn't one of his reasons for marriage, was it? No, it wasn't. It wasn't. He didn't mention that once. He's like, oh yeah, because I don't love that gal, that young gal. I don't love her.
No, don't dox me, because I'm a bit of a lightning rod. But great guy, and he's married to a Brazilian wife, and he ends up spending, some years, not always, but he was like, Joel, you think I like spending 3 months out of the year in Brazil? It's like, it sucks. And his parent or in-laws, her parents, he's like,
I've been to Brazil. I thought it was pretty great, honestly. I mean, it was a long time ago, but hell yeah, it was really fun. A lot of women, to be honest. I think they, at the time anyway, they like outnumbered men like 3 to 1. And well, anyway, that's all I'm going to say about that.
I can't even talk to them. They don't speak English. He's like, dude, he was like, tell them in the debate.
Dude, learn something, dude. Holy shit. You go there for like that frequently and you can't learn something? I was there for like a week. I figured out how to like interact with people quite easily.
You tell them, I love my wife as Christ loves the church. I don't regret my marriage. I wouldn't undo it. I love my children, and his children are fearfully and wonderfully made in the image of God. Oh my God. As interracial children. He's like,
they sound so weird, man. Why can't you just say normal words, man? Could you just say normal human things instead of everything is like a fucking virtue signal for your stupid blood cult?
But yeah, it's way harder.
Yeah,
it's way harder. And I wish that someone hadn't been a lib. I wish I had a pastor like you are now, because I didn't always think this way. You're right, Ruslan. But at the time, doing my premarital counseling and saying, you know what, this is permissible. I will officiate the marriage, but I would be remiss if at some point in our premarital counseling, I did not bring up the fact that marriage is already sanctifying enough. This is going to make it really hard. You might want to prayerfully reconsider.
So
he sounds like a character, man. Like he sounds like he's pretending. And look at his face right there too. That's you just like, oh God, that's amazing.
Joel, this is what I would add to that. I think you would say the same thing if you had a family that was a upper class white family that loved Jesus and a trailer park biker gang family.
A little different because they could still speak the same language.
Okay, they could still speak the same language, but you're talking about
still be easier.
Massive cultural disconnect. If you're talking about an upper middle class Christian family that loves Jesus and a biker gang Hell's Angel family from a trailer park.
That massive distance, you're right. That massive distance still pales in comparison to the
Wait, you want me to learn a language to engage in their culture? What are you even talking about?
I just described.
Joel, I strongly disagree.
The distance I just described includes the distance of even language.
Yeah, the language of in-laws. Her learning English and him maybe.
Right, but when you marry a woman, you marry her family. Like those families are united.
Sure. Let me answer this. Marriage is a single.
Not necessarily. That is so weird the way that they talk about this, because they're like. When you marry a woman, you marry her family, because the way that they think about it is like so backwards. It has nothing to do with the two individuals that are in love that want to get married and everything. It is like 100% for the families to like come together. They're thinking about it like it's freaking 1830 or some shit, where it's all about just like the parents, wanting their kid to get with the friend of their family, like their kid, and to have to merge the families, because it's all about the parents, not the kids, not the people actually getting married. It's like the wishes of the parents. Jesus.
Defining process. And so if you're marrying someone and you're deciding to potentially learn their language, potentially learn the things, these are all awesome potential adventures. So to me, this is all in how you're framing this. Like, oh man, our in-laws can't speak. I got friends that their in-laws can't speak English and they get along just fine, and they're able to communicate, and things are great. And so I think you're pointing to challenges, but these same challenges can be in real existence in the same race. That's what I'm pointing to.
Not quite the same. No,
I
don't think so.
I think they. And let me just add this as someone that is in an interracial marriage. I have never had any of these challenges. I've never had, like, literally my challenges in my marriage have so little to do with culture. Why?
Because they're both Americans. Like she's black, so it's not like the way that he's describing it. But the funny thing is, he would still get equally as angry about that, and even though all of his arguments would be null and void. because everything he's talking about is like, we don't understand each other because the cultures are doing, and that makes it so much more difficult. And that's why you shouldn't have interracial relationships or whatever. But like, it doesn't work that way with a black woman and a white man, or a white man and a black woman at all. But he still would hate it, and he would just have no reasons for it, because I mean, he doesn't anyway, but
because my wife is black, she grew up in the same city, going to the same type of church, holding the same type of theology, and I also grew around a bunch of black people.
But like, he would probably say, but that's because of the crimes of our forefathers, you know, that let those people like be equal and treated as if they're equal, which was a crime back then. And so really, you're just an extension of their crimes.
So I'm Armenian.
I was going to say.
So, but let me just finish. The biggest identity issues I had, Joel,
See,
was
listen,
not.
Did you hear him? I knew it. I can see everybody's race. If you're, God, what a piece of shit.
Was not in my interracial marriage. The biggest identity issues I had was being Armenian from Azerbaijan, hanging with a bunch of Glendales, and being super confused. And I'm white, but I'm Armenian, and ethnically, that was a way bigger identity issue than my black wife and her amazing family and my beautiful mixed kids. So I'm just laying that out for you. Like, you're talking about an example, and that's a fair example. I'm saying I've seen the same thing with white couples that are coming from massive disparity in upbringing. This dude's dad is a hell angel. He gets drunk and smashes beers. They come from an amazing family that loves Jesus. That creates just as much tension.
So I understand. I think this is the problem, though. I think what we have done, especially as Westerners, especially as Americans, is we continue to point out that there are.
John said, I hate that Christianity is so compatible. That's a great way to say it, because it's like, it doesn't necessarily, well, let me finish. So compatible with the most xenophobic text. Yeah. And that is a great way to say it, because it's like, it's not that it's like directly like encouraging people to be racist or whatever, or to you know, or to say that they shouldn't be able to be mixed or whatever. But like, it's very compatible with it, though. It's like, you could see why those worldviews like overlap, and why it's always the people that are Christians that have those worldviews. You know, it's insane.
Exceptions, and there are exceptions, but we point them out ad nauseum, and we elevate them as though they're the norm. There are some. Let me finish. There are certainly plenty of cases where two white individuals would still have culturally enough differences that there would be challenges in the marriage. But if we emphasize that as so it exists everywhere, the impression that we give people who, like me, who would have made those arguments, one race, the human race, the impression that we're giving people is that, so because that exists, two white individuals with cultural differences, and it produces challenges in the marriage, because of that, there's really no difference if you marry a Haitian. No, there really is a difference.
Well, it depends on how many generations has she been here.
That was his argument. Look at his face. He's like, that was it. Like, dude, that's almost just like saying there's like, what? That's like saying that Haitians could do it, though. What about? And that's crazy. Okay, because they're terrible. All right, Jesus Christ, man. It's like the racists, like they're like so like deep down the rabbit hole of their insanity that they just think just being racist is an argument. That just like, what about Haitians though? That's, you know, that's different.
Where parents love Jesus. All Haitians aren't monolithic, Joel.
Well, if
you've never met any Christian,
we're talking about Haitians.
Yeah, are we talking about Christian?
Then we know
Haitians?
how many generations they've been.
Hold on, slow down, slow down.
And it's crazy too, because like, slow down. It's crazy too, because like the reason that we do celebrate the differences between the different cultures and races and things like that is because of fuckheads like this dipshit. That's why we do it. That's why, like, because people like you, man, that criminalize those differences, right, and act like it's it's permissible in the Bible, but it shouldn't be normative. Fuck you.
If we're talking about Christian Haitians that love Jesus and are evangelical, post-mill, we'll just say your camp, those do exist, and they're not all monolithic, and there are Christian Haitians.
Do you
in
know some?
On
Yeah,
average.
yes, I do. One of my closest friends is Haitian. Yes,
And
I know.
He's post-mill.
No,
Reformed?
I'm messing with you and
Okay,
giving
all
you
right,
your
all right.
theology. I'm saying he's an evangelical, second, third generation Haitian.
We
It's
all
very
know
different.
on average what the typical Haitian culture is like. They
I think you
congregate
guys
around
should really meet
restaurants.
more Haitians, brother. Like
I know,
respectfully,
no,
man.
they're
Haitians.
like-
So,
we know.
they're like so simple, man. They're so simple. It's like, well, okay, but most of them are all the same. Okay, like I know they're not all exactly the same, but they're basically all the same. Okay, come on.
Monolith.
One of
They're
my
not
wife's
a
best
monolith.
friend was Haitian that
Yeah,
came
okay.
in early on. I know these people, and I know also they congregate around the food and the culture. They maintain that sense of identity.
Yeah.
We know 90% of Haitians generally identify not with American culture like we're talking about. They identify with parts of Haiti, and that actually is good and natural.
I identify
People
with parts
should
of
love-
Armenia.
Yeah, that's awesome. People should love their fatherland,
Yes.
love where they came
Yes.
from,
And assimilate into America.
patriotic
And assimilate into
fatherland.
America and assimilate into Christian
When
heritage.
you assimilate like Ruth, you do leave behind. And there is, and I've talked to the people, some of them coming from Ukraine. There's a painful process where they're leaving behind the language or leaving behind the customs to become American. So you actually don't get both ways. Oh, we're honoring Haiti and we love the food and we fly the flag and we watch the World Cup. And also we're completely American
Ruth
ethnicity.
forsook her.
What do you mean?
Her father.
They are completely American, dude. The Americans that came here originally were like, you know what I mean? Like they brought their culture and did exactly that. Why the hell is it different when other people do it? Why is it only white people that get to do that?
People and her false Moabite gods, and like that's what people keep pointing to Ruth. You guys haven't actually done this. You've been, I think, really respectful. But like Samuel Say, for instance, was like, you know, he was pointing that out, and like the difference I would say is that Ruth was leaving Moab. She was leaving a place where there was no Christian subset population in Moab at the time. She was leaving.
Fatherland. What is that? Okay, I got that thought about. So please stop referring to homeland as fatherland. What the hell is that? Why are some of them like with Russia? It's the motherland. Like what distinguishes the gender of the land? Like what is that?
A place, a people that was 100% pagan. It was 100% idolatrous. So she forsook her people, and the Bible, it's not prescriptive, it's descriptive, but in that descriptive passage, it does esteem it. It elevates it as a good. Look at this virtuous thing that Ruth did. And it was virtuous, not because dishonoring and severing relations from your parents is universally virtuous, but in her particular case, she was leaving for all the right reasons. Her parents, to say goodbye, Father, and I will never see you again, was honorable because her father worshipped sand demons. Her father was.
This is what I'm talking about right here. This is exactly what I'm saying. This I keep pausing it at the whack. He looks insane. Anyway, but this is what I'm saying. Like this is why we were talking about it's compatible. You know, like racism and everything is compatible with Christianity. This is why. It's because they will. Because of their religion, because they are Christian, they think you gotta worship one God, and it's the dude that had to, you know, torture, murder his own kid so that he could forgive people, you know, because of the talking snake talking to the rib lady or whatever. Like that those are the real true beliefs, and that's you gotta think that stuff. And if you don't think that stuff, well, then you're evil for not thinking that stuff, for not believing in one God that's somehow three. Still, but it's one though. It's monotheism, but it's three. Just logic, go fuck yourself. But like, and that's what makes somebody bad. That's what makes somebody evil. Is just not being that culture. It's like the basis of all racism is the first commandment. You know, you shall have no other gods before me. That's where all this shit spawns from.
A pagan, you know, but what we have today, like Samuel Say, Ghana is 73% Christian.
Yeah, exactly. I like that. Michael said, is he going to assimilate into Native American culture? Because they were here first, man. Like that's, you know, why don't you go assimilate into? Oh no, that's right. Just you get a special, because again, it's like right wingers, dude. They get like special privileges always. So it's just constant special pleading that they get everything they want, while everybody else has to shut up and sit down.
So in forsaking his people and coming here, It's not I'm forsaking them because they're all pagans or because they're all non-Christians, right? That's different. So then the question is, well, being here, are you going to preserve your Ghanaian heritage and love that and try to preserve it and cherish it?
Pass it down to your children.
And if so, how are you going to do that, but also assimilate here in America? Like,
I think you go walk and chew gum at the same time, Joe. Respectfully.
So do I. I talk about it all the time, but not here.
You have Mexican protesters.
That's good as fun. He took it literally because he's a jokester.
There's flying the Mexican flag as they pelt ICE officers and police.
That's
in
all
LA
bad, and I've condemned all of
bricks.
that publicly.
Yeah, but do you see that?
Yes, I see. But
as they pelt ICE officer, like, how do you? That's so crazy. The way that they can like have like reality just flipped upside down. And it's the police, those poor racist police officers that they're being hit with rocks as they shoot innocent women in the face because they were in the road for a couple minutes too long. Holy shit!
But you're trying to get.
What's up, Amber? How we doing? So Brantley is Brantley a ventriloquist today? Yeah, I don't know what the hell is going on with that shit. I think StreamYard like updated something, and so then all of it's been freezing the whole time. So annoying.
It's the is to ought fallacy. Like, just because it is hard or just because these people are doing that doesn't mean you ought not to get married to an interracial person. This is a breakdown in the logic.
I don't think he understands what the is not thing is. But you know, he's accidentally right for once, but
permissible. Yeah, but that's we already looked at how that's not a formidable category. I went to the text for you. So you still haven't made the point, whether from scripture, and again, if these things were the exceptions to the rule, when we see them in church history, when we see John Wolfe marrying Pocahontas, who became...
Because here's the thing, they do have an is-ought thing. This is what's so funny. Like, he doesn't understand it, like, to such a deep level that when they're talking about the Bible and their religion and everything, you can't really say that this is the is-ought fallacy, because you could say something is a sin because God says you ought to not do that sin or whatever. That behavior is what is the sin, right? Because they have that standard or whatever. The idea is that if you don't have that standard, then you can't say that. But I wouldn't expect him to understand any of that.
Becca, and there's an entire thing laid out in an Anglican church in 1614 citing the historical significance. There should have been an asterisk there, because when there's hey, this guy is an asterisk, there should be an asterisk. This is an exception to the rule.
Asterisk, right? Is it Kevin? Is it asterisk or asterisk? Asterisk sounds like a porn about a superhero, and he is asterisk. That's right.
When we see polygamy, it's an exception to the rule, because it was some Muslim that had 4 wives and he heard
strictly kicking ass.
The sermon, he came to Jesus, and there's an asterisk.
Then fucking it.
Right there. Hey, this Pocahontas who became Rebecca. And there's an entire thing laid out in an Anglican church in 1614 citing the historical significance. There should have been an asterisk there, because when there's hey, this guy is an asterisk, there should be an asterisk. This is an exception to the rule. When we see polygamy, it's an exception.
I like when he has to explain what an asterisk is. Maybe because he's not saying it right.
Exceptions to the rule, because it was some Muslim that had 4 wives and he heard your sermon, he came to Jesus, and there's an asterisk there. But you don't see this in church history. And I can go through missionary after missionary. Miguel Rodriguez, a Spanish creator, a Christian soldier, married Luisa Hidalgo, the free black woman in St. Augustine. Like, we see this over and over, and there's never an asterisk next to them. But this is not normative. If there was a dude in your church that was polygamous and you're like, man, I don't know, do you get rid of these wives? There would be an asterisk. It's clearly not normative. It's clearly not in God's design. And that, again, you guys have not been able to...
Okay, I was just going to say, I don't know as if he knows what normative means either. But it might be. I don't know. Because that is, of course, like the normative and being like, ought to do this, ought to do that. But it's just weird hearing him using these kinds of words. But this is like, I guess, they're all trying to use those kind of that kind of language, even though it doesn't really feel like it makes sense. I don't know, from their perspective, being that they're like far right religious Christians that like don't like logic and everything, or I guess they like to pretend they like logic, but they don't.
Establish this from scripture. We don't see any prohibition on it, and I don't see it from scripture or church history.
Ruslan.
Grand Theft Auto about said Asterix, the Gaul. It's one of my favorite comics. No, really, that is a comic. Oh, it's amazing. Asterix, the gall. It does sound superhero-ish. It just has that feel, you know. Hello from Exmo Ward 666. Hey, what's going on? Oh, probably into doing Special K too. I can see it from your emoji thing there, right? You like the Special K? Apparently Elon Musk likes that stuff a lot. You know, I just like the cereal. You know, K-holes, not fun. I would much rather be able to get out of the hole mentally and do stuff while I'm high. Anyway, all right, dude. Thanks for hanging out, Joe. I actually got to wrap a little bit early because I got to work on some. I'm trying to make it so that we can do a TikTok call-in thing soon, and so I'm trying to get that set up. So I'm gonna work on that, and then hopefully we can come up with a call-in type thing, you know, TikTok debate shit, and we can do that for the next one. But I gotta see if it'll work. I don't know. I'm not holding my breath. Let me put it that way. But I might have to order a couple more things, and maybe we could set it up. But all right, Jill. Well, thanks so much for hanging out. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. You know, we have a lot of fun around here. We just kind of mess around and react to a lot of stuff. I'm also starting to cover a little bit more of the news on TikTok, or not TikTok, on Twitter and all that shit. So yeah, I don't know. We're just kind of having fun around here. And usually the stream actually works and the video looks good and everything. But that's not what's happening today for some reason. But yeah, all right. So I almost just pulled the thing up. Oh yeah, go to the creator accountability network.org. I am credentialed with them. So if I upset you or if I'm, you know, offensive or anything like that, or if me or my content has harmed you in any way, please report it, and they will help me make it right. But all right, Jill. Thanks again for hanging out. Once again, make sure to pound that like button. Okay, just pound that button, right? And smack that button, right? Or you can finger the button. Yeah, there we go. All right, Jill. But what was I gonna say? Oh, and we're gonna thank our members real quick, and then we're heading out of here. Oh man, I forgot to use my thing.
Are you about to engage in blasphemy?
I keep forgetting I have that, and I'm keep kicking myself every time I get. Oh yeah, I should have been doing that. Anyway, all right, let's thank the members, then we'll head out.
Just want to thank my channel members. I got constant bill collectors and writing out return to sender. Only works so many times. Thanks 1,000 times.
All right. Well, we will be back Sunday. We are going to have Godless Engineer. He's going to be hanging out. And we're going to be talking about some Christian arguments. It's going to be a lot of fun. So don't miss that. It'll be, I think, around like 2, if I'm not mistaken, 2 in the afternoon on Sunday. So yeah, definitely be there. It's going to be fun. All right, Joe. But you know the drill. Make sure to stay logical, stay loving, skeptical, and compassionate. And we will see you next time. All right. Love y'all. Take it easy.